President Trump has made his choice for the new ATF director. No, it's not Brandon Herrera, but the pick has received some support from some of the major gun groups. But let's dig into why we need to pump the brakes. And I'll tell you what I have been told about his views on the NFA. It may surprise you. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets. I'm your host, Jared, and today we're going to dive into something important for all of you Second Amendment patriots out there. We got big news out of Washington, D.C. a couple days ago. The gun rights world was buzzing because of the nominee for the head of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives has been announced, and he reportedly has earned some warm welcomes from some of the major gun groups out there. But hold on, is it actually a win, or is it a trap door where we need to keep our eyes on this? You tell me after the video. Let's dig into what the nominee reportedly stands for, what pro-gun groups are saying, and most importantly, what you as a lawful gun owner need to watch for. Strap in, because this is relevant to our rights, our gear, and the future of the firearms industry. First off, who is Robert Cicada, the new ATF director nominee? Robert Cicada had been the deputy director for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and serving as the number 2 highest ranking official since April of 2025. Now, prior to becoming deputy director, Cicada served as the executive assistant director in operations in the office of the director since September of 2022. In that position, he oversaw ATF's Office of Regulatory Operations, Office of Field Operations, and the Office of Intelligence Operations. From January 22 to September 22, Cicada served as the deputy assistant director in the Central Region in Field Operations, where he was responsible for operational and regulatory oversight of the 19 states located within the Central Region of the United States. Before that, he served as the special agent in charge, which is the SAC or the SAC, of the Miami Field Division, where he was responsible for the oversight of all ATF criminal enforcement and regulatory operations in the 21 offices located across southern Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. He also served as the SAC, or the SAC, the special agent in charge of the Baltimore Field Division, overseeing criminal enforcement and regulatory operations in Maryland and in Delaware, as well as the assistant special agent in charge of the Philadelphia Field Division and the resident agent in charge of the high-intensity drug trafficking area task force north in the Miami Field Division. He also served as a board member on the National Crime Gun Intelligence Governing Board and on the IACP, the International Association for Chiefs of Police, and the Firearms Committee. Now, Cicada began his ATF career as a special agent in the Baltimore Field Division's Hyattsville 2 field office, working on the Regional Area Gang Enforcement Task Force from 2005 to 2011. From there, he joined the Tampa Field Division for 2 years before reporting to ATF headquarters in 2013, initially as a project officer in the Firearms Operations Division's frontline branch, and then as the program manager serving as a special assistant to the senior leaders. Prior to joining ATF, Cicada served as a local law enforcement officer, as a local cop with 2 agencies. From 92 to 2000, he was with NYPD, the New York City Police Department. And there he was assigned to the Housing Bureau, Citywide Gang Enforcement Unit, and the Street Crime Unit, where he was promoted to detective. And after joining the Organized Crime Control Bureau's Gang Division, he focused his efforts on gun violence attributed to gang activity. There is no such thing as gun violence. Now, Cicada then joined the City of Plantation Police Department in Broward County, Florida, where he served with the Patrol Division and SWAT from 2001 to 2005. Now, some, not all, but some major gun right organizations are greeting the Trump nominee for ATF boss with open arms, calling him maybe the first truly pro-Second Amendment nominee to lead the ATF. Sounds good on the face of it. And this could signal a shift at the agency that has been, let's say, less friendly to lawful gun owners over the last 8 to 20 years. But we should be cautious. This warm welcome might be premature. Because if the ATF continues to act like a political regulatory hammer instead of a neutral enforcement body, then even a pro-gun head won't fix anything. Now, we shouldn't jump the gun, no pun intended, in celebrating here, because at the end of the day, the ATF is still the same beast. It has the power to regulate, classify, inspect, penalize, and until we see structural change, the risk still remains. Now, why is this important for you at home, in your safe, or at your local dealer? I'll give you 3 big reasons. But first, a word from our sponsor. The Fed is pivoting to printing money and cutting rates. First come rate cuts, then comes good old-fashioned money printing. The job market is collapsing. Americans searching for help with mortgage on Google is at levels not seen since 2008. Hedge fund billionaire Paul Tudor Jones says 2025 and 2026 is potentially more explosive than 1999. The risk of the party ending is much sooner, and it will be more violent than most expect. All of this while our national debt has surpassed $38 trillion, with $39 trillion just a mere months away. Jamie Dimon said gold could easily go to $5,000 or $10,000 an ounce. JP Morgan says that the metal could double in value. ETF gold holdings haven't neared peaks hit in the past, and rallies extend much longer now. Goldman Sachs maintained their $4,900 target for 2026. Bank of America's forecast was $6,000, and Frank Holmes said that gold could hit $7,000 by the end of Trump's term. The Wall Street Journal said silver could be the trade of the decade. Gold surpassed its inflation-adjusted high, and silver always follows gold. Silver's inflation-adjusted all-time high is $209 an ounce. Call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Mention Guns and Gadgets and you'll always get the best-in-class service from Patriots protecting patriots. Now, Patriot Gold Group has the no-fee-for-life IRA when your IRA or your 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for the no-fee-for-life IRA on qualifying rollovers. Call 888-581-4989 for a free investor guide today. Patriot Gold Group has been a Consumer Affairs top-rated gold IRA dealer 9 years in a row. Again, call 888-581-4989 or hit this QR code or the link in the description below. Thanks to Patriot Gold for sponsoring this video. All right, here are the big 3 here. Licensing and enforcement risks for FFLs. The ATF's treatments of federal firearms licensees affects access, pricing, and availability. If FFLs continue to feel threatened by arbitrary enforcement, they may reduce inventory, stop dealing with the niche or controversial items like suppressors or SBRs, or go out of business altogether. And then scarcity does trickle down to us. 2 is classification and regulatory uncertainty. Even if the boss changes, the same classification authority remains. For example, braced handguns, short-barreled rifles, stabilizing braces, import restrictions, etc. I know I said braces twice, but I'm leaving it in. Now, the ATF's classifications determine whether our gear is legal or suddenly makes us felons overnight. And you could do everything right today, and then a policy shifts, and we're slapped with retroactive classification. Remember the free tax stamp period? Then the third one is the state of potentially pro-gun leadership. Some pro-gun groups may be celebrating Cicada as the nominee, but if we don't demand real reform, not just spin, then we get the same old story. Talk of support, but regulatory and regulations, talk of support, but regulation stays the same, stays oppressive. Right, Pam Bondi? We're pro 2A. We'll tell your state they're doing it wrong, but we'll defend every piece of federal gun control because we're pro 2A. In short, this matters because your purchase rights, your mobility rights, your ability to build, import, and own gear depend on how the ATF behaves day to day, not just who's in charge. Now, I told you at the open I'd tell you what I have heard from trusted people in Washington, D.C. about Cicada and what his views are. And we kind of have the same views, allegedly, in regards to short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, any other weapons, and suppressors. He allegedly believes, the person I talk to talks to him regularly. So he supposedly believes that, short-barreled firearms and can suppressors should not be in the NFA, nor should they be part of the registry. But he does think that machine guns and destructive devices should remain in the NFA. So let's talk about what the gun rights organizations are saying here. Some groups are calling this nominee perhaps the first truly pro-Second Amendment nominee ever. They're tweeting it, giving press releases, and kind of, being warm to him, which I understand because they want him to work with them. I understand that totally. I will say this. He's a career ATF guy who's been there for 20 years. Cicada's long tenure inside ATF suggests continuity rather than abrupt shifts. But confirmation hearings may shed more light on his policy directions, and that's what we're going to need to watch here. I do not want, let me say that again, I do not want gun owners to think, okay, job done, heroes in office, and lose vigilance. The institution, the ATF, remains structurally the same, with the same powers, the same regulatory culture, and the same potential for abuse. It still should be dissolved. The proof will be in the policies, not the handshakes. For example, are there changes that will address any ongoing overreach? Are they going to restore fairness to FFLs, inspections, and license revocations? Easy for me to say. Are they going to define classification criteria in a predictable, rights-preserving way? And until we see that, there's no reason to celebrate. Here's my take. And I don't pull punches. I'm glad to see some gun groups actively engaging with this nomination. It's good. But I also see a risk. A risk that the community will interpret the warm welcome as mission accomplished. That would be a mistake, and it cannot happen. In my view, you should be doing the following right now. You should be calling, tweeting, and writing your senators, especially if they're on the Senate Judiciary Committee, as those are the ones charged with confirming presidential nominees. Tell them you support a nominee who will truly respect the Second Amendment, not lip service, but shows that they truly respect and protect the Second Amendment. Tell them you expect transparency, fairness, and stability. I know, from a politician. Stay ready. Don't celebrate yet. This is a win, potentially, but not a win in reality. The institutional power of ATF doesn't change overnight just because of some presidential nominee. I mean, we've had an acting director, Driscoll, for a while. Have you all seen any of the ATF's? They say they're not enforcing some of the rules, but they're still there. Have they gotten rid of them? No. Remember, who does the ATF report to? The Department of Justice. Who's the head of the Department of Justice? Pamela Bondi. Now, if confirmed, Cicada's leadership could significantly impact ATF activity in several key areas affecting firearms dealers, manufacturers, importers, and distributors. The bottom line is hope for change, but prepare for the worst. All right, folks, that's the wrap on today's breakdown and what's really happening with this ATF nomination, what it means for you, and what you need to do. If you found this video valuable, smash the like button. It helps other like-minded patriots find the information. If you're new here, subscribe to Guns and Gadgets for more in-depth Second Amendment coverage. Help me get to my goal of 1 million subscribers. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss a drop of anything I put out, and I'll see you all on the next one. And until then, stay armed, stay informed, and stay free. God bless you. Take care.